Welcome to our second episode of The Story Behind the Song, where we're taking some of the most well-known hymns that we sing in our churches across this country, and we're looking into how they came to be, the story behind them. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. In 1902, Adelaide Pollard sat quietly in a church prayer meeting. She'd spent her entire life teaching the gospel, and her heart's desire was to travel to Africa to minister to those who had never heard such a message of hope. She was hopeful of getting financial support for such a trip, but when she got word that no such support was coming, she was left frustrated that God would not make this happen for her. She was 40 years old, still single, and this just felt like another one of life's great disappointments. Like all of us, she had dreams and she had hopes. She felt as though she was a gifted teacher and a communicator, but she didn't feel like God was using her as she wanted him to. And now her body was plagued with diabetes, and she wondered if she would ever accomplish anything meaningful in her life. And so there she sat at this prayer meeting, wondering simply, what if? She was sitting next to an elderly woman that she hadn't met before, and as other prayers were lifted up, she found herself completely unable to speak. The lady next to her then said, "It really doesn't matter just what you do with us, Lord. Have your own way with our lives." Now these words sat heavy on Adelaide's heart and her mind. She had spent her whole life pursuing her own goals, her own dreams, her own hopes. And as she walked home from that meeting, she found a new sense of hope. Arriving home, she opened her Bible to the book of Jeremiah and found these words: "Arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause thee to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he wrought a work on the wheel, and the vessel that he had made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. So he made it again another vessel, as seemed good to the potter to make it." Adelaide saw herself as a defective, imperfect pot of clay that needed to be broken and reformed by the master potter after his will and not her own. Before she went to bed that night, she had written all 4 verses of a now well-known hymn, "Have thine own way, Lord." Her life took on a whole new dimension. She worked at a missionary training school for several years, also spending time as a Bible teacher, and eventually she did go to Africa not long before World War I. When the war broke out, she went to Scotland and continued her work there, returning to the U.S. after the war and traveling extensively despite her failing health. Adelaide died in 1934 at the age of 72, not at home in her bed, but in a New York railway station, waiting to board a train to go to Philadelphia, where she was planning to share the gospel. These words truly embrace her philosophy on life. Have thine own way, Lord. Have thine own way. Thou art the potter, I am the clay. Mold me and make me after thy will, while I am waiting, yielded and still.
Have thine own way, Lord, have thine own way. Thou art the potter, I am the clay. Mold me and make me after thy will, while I am waiting, yielded and still. Have thine own way, Lord, have thine own way. Search me and try me, Savior, today. Wash me just now.